Hey, India, can you hear me now by chance? Hopefully so. Oh, maybe not. Hello, hello, hello. Nope. Okay, yes, much better. I turned it off. I turned my headset off, turn it back on. All right, you guys. How was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting, anything fun this weekend? Not really. Okay, well, that's fine. So we're gonna finish up our conversation about crime scene today. Crime scene sketch review and crime scene. Relaxing sounds nice. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. If not, go ahead and do this and refresh your connection. Cooking, that sounds nice. Okay. So, my first question for you guys today, besides me asking you about your weekend, I guess that was my first question, huh? I guess my second question. Name some personnel that may be involved at a crime scene. Yes, first responder, lead investigators. What else can you think of? The coroner, absolutely. The cops, first responder, the forensic scientists, yep, the ambulance people, the paramedics, fire department, okay. Yep, ambulance, okay. So let's talk about them. Let's go through them. All right, first thing we have here is the police officer. Remember, they're the first person to typically arrive unless something else is going on. They can't get there. And they're usually the person who secured the area and protect the evidence. Very important. Then we have the detectives. Remember, detectives are the person that usually do the interviews and with the witness and interact with the crime scene investigators. We also have the paramedics who render medical assistance to those who are injured. All right. We also have the district attorneys who determine whether a search warrant is needed or warranted. Um, and as you guys know, the search warrant is a legal document that gives crime scene personnel the authorization to do a search and seizure somewhere. Remember, the judge has to sign off on it. Then we also have the medical examiner or coroners, and those are the ones who usually perform the initial examination as well as the autopsy. As you guys know, the autopsy determines usually the cause of death. All right, then we have the crime scene investigator who document the area and search for evidence. Those are also the individuals taking photos. Remember, the first thing they're to do is not touch anything, not add anything. They want everything unaltered. And when they take the pictures, they may add some rulers later on to get a better idea exactly how big or small something is. But initially, they're not going to add anything, take anything away. Everything's going to be unaltered. Okay. Yeah, we're still going to finish up our crime scene lab today. So we're just going to talk a little bit and just review, and then we're going to go on to our crime scene sketch so you guys can finish. All right, and then we have special forensic scientists, and those are the ones that typically are hired um, at a university and doing research, and then they may work on the side and work at a police department and help. Just looking at bones or teeth or bugs, depending on what their title is. And we're going to talk about each one of those special forensic scientists doing second semester. All right, so one more question for you. Do you think digital crime scene photos should be allowed to be used in the court? Why or why not? What could be done to make them more reliable? So digital, we're talking about photos, we're talking about cameras, things like that. Hello. I'll be on my way down just a moment. All right, we're saying yes because it can help solve the crime and help people, okay? So we have to make sure the evidence is tempered, exactly. All right, you're saying it helps the jury decide on what's clear, so you think absolutely should be allowed. But how can people make it unreliable? How can these pictures become unreliable? What could some people do to them? Destroy them, okay? Could add something that wasn't there. Right? Someone could tamper with it and could prove someone else innocent or guilty or things that may not even be part of the original scene. Yeah. So those are all important. So that's why they kind of have these rules set here. Okay. In order to help the reliability of these pictures or photographs that are being taken, they have this that say no image can be deleted from a camera used in taking crime scene photos. So they can't delete anything. The crime scene photo must have a sequential number and timestamp on them. So you must have numbers on them so they'll know if they delete them because they have sequential numbers. And they're also time stamped on them when they were taken. Right? New memory stick must be used for each crime scene. So they don't have them on them. They can't just take them back and say, oh, I'm going to add some more pictures in there. That's not a really option. The memory stick must be turned over as evidence and handled by the chain of custody as any other evidence is. So they got to turn them in. They don't even have them staying on them. They got to turn them back in. All right. Images uploaded to a computer should be backed up on a CD or DVD and handed by a chain of custody guidelines. So if someone delete them, they're backed up on the computer. So that kind of covers a lot of the issues that we might have, right? Thinking about someone deleting them, can't really delete them because it's going to mess the number up, right? Someone's going to know. You can't really add anything because it's backed up. So there's a place for them to go and check them, make sure that they're not been damaged or tampered with. All right, there is some new technology that is being used. We're going to watch this video and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, okay? So they have this new technology that allows for them to restore a crime scene using 3D, exactly from exact location person at, and seeing exactly what they're able to see and what they're not able to see. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Sylvia. So they do have these new technologies that have been a big wave of allowing us to do things that we have not been able to do before. I don't know. It depends on, each state is different. So I don't know what state it's in. So I can't really say. Sounds like you're thinking like a lawyer, though. All right, so let's talk about circumstantial versus direct evidence. What is the difference between the two? What's the difference between circumstantial and direct evidence? All right, so we're saying circumstantial object used or involved in the scene. So they're actual objects. What's that P word that we talked about? That we talked about being actual objects. Do you guys remember that word? Starts with a P. Uh-oh, just turned myself off. Starts with a P. It's a type of evidence as well. It goes under circumstantial evidence. Yeah, physical evidence. So, in other words, what Michael is pretty much saying, circumstantial evidence is physical evidence used or involved in a crime scene, right? It's actual objects. All right, direct evidence is that is witnessed by someone. That is correct. Can direct evidence be a recording or a video? Absolutely, you guys are all correct. All right, so I'm going to tell you this story about Locker's exchange principle, and you tell me what type of evidence could have been left behind, okay? So imagine this, two cars, a red one and a blue one. They collide together. The driver of the blue car quickly drives away because he knows he was at fault. What can be some examples of the Locker's exchange principle that the blue car driver left behind? All right, what could he have left behind? Blue paint, okay. Could have been a dent or a streak. Scrap some metal behind, maybe, okay. Tire marks, absolutely. Glass, that's what I was thinking about. Some glass could have been left behind. And I don't know if you guys know this, my dad worked on cars, so like each one, the tail lights, they're made a little bit different, based on the shape. Older cars versus newer cars, some of the newer cars have these new lights. So they're made out of different materials. So that's pretty interesting too, right? Yeah. So Locker's exchange principle tells me that something is going to be left behind, right? Um, Even if it's intentional, that you don't think it's going to be left behind. There also could have been a direct evidence left behind. There could have been a recording of all this happening, right? Because a lot of the streets now, we have these lights and these poles that allows for us to go in surveillance places. All right. So now, after we had that conversation, I want you guys to remember that medical examiners and forensic pathologists, they're kind of two of the same coin. Both of them um, do perform autopsies. The big difference between them is that a medical examiner can perform autopsy and is appointed, not elected like a coroner. Remember, a coroner is elected, but a medical examiner, forensic pathologists are not elected. They actually attend school, and they get paid anywhere from 145 to $500,000. Okay. So now this is going to lead us to our work time. So we've been talking about our crime scene sketch these past few days. I want to give you your last dinner. It is due today. So I want to give you a little bit of work time if you're not finished in order to work on your crime scene sketch. Remember, we want to make sure that all the parameters that I asked for, the key information, and the information that's needed on the crime scene sketch is present. Okay. So double check and make sure, get your checklist out and make sure that everything is there, because remember, that is how I'm going to grade it. Okay. I am going to put the link in the chat box for the quizzes. If you are done and you have turned it in, you're already taken a picture of it, you can go ahead and work on your quizzes and go ahead and review. Remember, IA is coming up. Did you guys remember? When is it? When does IA start? IA week start? See if you guys remember. Yes, next week, September 9th is IA week. What grade are we looking for? Class average? Yes, 85 and higher. If you have a personal goal of getting an A, that is awesome. That's definitely going to help us reach our 85% or higher, which would be awesome. So reaching for 85 or higher, okay? All right, before we get started on our work time, do you guys have any questions for me right now about the crime scene sketch or anything like that? You see dress? She loved dresses. Shh. Yep, we're going to work on our Google Slides some tomorrow. No, you're definitely not going to fail. For if you work on what we're going to be working on in class this week, and you also work on your IA study guide, you're going to be good to go. Yep, just send me a private chat, and I'll answer you in a private chat as well. All right, go ahead and get started, you guys, and let me know if you have any other questions, okay? Please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to send me an email if you do have some questions about your crime scene sketch. I'll be more than happy to help you. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye bye.